We're going to be looking at something called broadening formation. Let's take a look at this. This is an old chart on Tesla from last week. This is October 22. We're looking at Tesla, and what we see here is just this downward progression, continually just moving downward in a downward spiral. So what we're going to see here is a broadening formation. This is the daily, so this was Tuesday the 11th, and then this is Wednesday the 12th. And then we can see what happened the next day. Boom. We had a 3. This is a 3. If you understand the strat method, is what we're going to be talking about. This is a 3 where it overtakes the top and the bottom of the previous day's candle. You see that? This would be a 2 to the downside because it only took out the previous day's low. Okay? So what we can then do is then draw ourselves our trend line from here across the top of that candle, and same thing down below. And we'll modify it once we get to moving it here. Okay, so that's a broadening formation. You see that? So let's go forward in time a day and see what happens. Boom. That is another 3, another broadening candle. Okay, so that we readjust, right? So if you look at this, if we would have continued this, okay, and continued this down, okay, and this is the end of our trading day on the 13th, and we're getting ready to look at the next day's trade. What are we going to expect here? We know that it closed up here, started here, bounced, went up, finished up here. What are we going to expect? We're going to expect this thing to either collapse or continue with this uptrend. But how far is it going to continue? That's why we draw these broadening formation lines, because it will be the cap of our next point of resistance. So let's see how this played out. Okay, you see the wick on the top of that candle? It almost reached the trend line that we hit. It almost reached the trend line that we drew. You see that? So by forming these broadening trend lines, we have an idea of what the stock could possibly do. We see that it started in a gap upwards here, got close to our trend line, which was our resistance, our level of resistance, and then what happened? It collapsed. But how far was it going to go? Well, possibly to the bottom trend line, right? So that's how broadening formations work. What do we have here? We have another 3. So we draw another set of trend lines, okay? Previous day's high across that day's high, likewise down below. Okay, that's going to give us an idea of where this thing's going to possibly go the next day. Well, let's see what happened the next day. Oh, looks like an inside bar. So inside, this is a 1 on the strat. Rule of thumb, do not trade on an inside day or you're going to get your cookies taken. This is a rule of thumb that you need to be severely religious about. Do not trade on this day. If you're good and you're a good sniper, then good luck to you. But for the majority of people out there, you're going to get chopped up. So just best to stay away. Let's draw another trend line here and see what can be foretold in the future here. We'll continue this one down at the bottom. Same direction. Okay, let's see what the next day holds. Boom. Okay, gapped way up, then came down and then closed a little bit up. So what do we see? We saw that it did not pass our level of resistance, and it surely never got close to our level of support way down here, did it? Okay, so again, it's watching these trend lines, watching these broadening formations with these 3s. It gives us a great idea of the range that this trade could possibly go. It could go up to here, it could go down here. Today was about broadening formations, and if you can spot these things, you can really get a leg up and understand what's happening and look at the true range of trading, where it could possibly go to, where it can top out at and where it can bottom out at. And that's going to help you understand where you need to enter and where you need to exit, where you need to go long or where you need to go short. Okay, this is what this is all about. This is price action, looking for broadening formations. This is what you should be doing, just scanning, looking for threes, and just running trend lines right off of them and then broadening formations and see what happens. Test this thing, look at it. You've got to study charts if you want to be a successful trader. You just can't sit there and just gamble and bet one way or the other. This is not roulette. This is trading. So understand it, understand how it works, educate yourself. There's only one way to do it, and it's understanding price action. And by understanding broadening formations, this will definitely help you with your trading. And I hope it does. I hope this was good, and we'll catch you next time.